sun shines bright. As it moves across my face, I feel the light, and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me, and life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing, the bells are ringing, children playing in the park while birds are singing. I am walking, and I am laughing.
Silverstone, the home of Formula One in the UK, and an appropriate location for Ferrari's Racing Days. 3 action-packed days for any true Ferrari fan, ranging from owners who want to exhibit their cars to owners who want to race their cars onto the track with Ferrari's Corsa Clienti division. But the highlight of the weekend has to be the Guinness World Record attempt to get the greatest number of Ferrari cars together in a parade on the track here at Silverstone. We're going to be taking part, and boy am I excited. If you're a Ferrari fan, this has got to be the ultimate place to be. Behind me in the pits, privately owned F1 cars being prepared to race. On the circuit, we've got 3 F1, here we come. Wow! Listen to that noise, that is an absolute symphony. These cars are privately owned, privately entered. Absolutely amazing noise. We're going to try and talk to the drivers, get a bit more insight into who they are, the cars that they're running.
To drive a Formula One car, I think can only be described as a real privilege. It's intellectually unbelievably difficult, which is why you have such great respect for all those guys who are real professional drivers. And it is, in a certain sense, if you liked airplanes, it's like flying the shuttle into space and back. It's there's nothing more.
How much training does it take before you can take one of those cars onto the track?
I think that if you're going to enjoy it, or try to enjoy it anyway, and try to begin to exploit what a modern racing car is, which is all about aerodynamics and braking, you have to have done a fair amount of, if not racing, driving on racetracks to understand it. But it's tough, and you have to have a certain physical shape, which I'm not sure I have.
This is Bud Muller. Bud's looking flush with success because he's been driving a Ferrari. Not just any Ferrari, this is Bud's Ferrari. Bud, what's it like to drive?
Well, this is an unbelievable track. It's so high speed, and this car, the F2003 GA, is well suited to it. It was one of the fastest Formula One machines ever built, and going around these corners at flat out is just an experience that is impossible to describe.
How did you come to own this machine?
Well, this machine was owned by another gentleman in Italy who had, I guess, grown a little older and wasn't able to exercise it as he should, and so I was very happy to pick it up from him.
What a charming chap you are. This has got to be the ultimate hobby. What got you into it in the first place?
Well, I started racing open-wheel cars about 25 years ago in the U.S. in one of those spec series, and then Formula Atlantics, which sort of the proving ground for a lot of drivers. Ran out of money before we could go to the Indy 500, and have been doing F1 cars for about 20 years.
Of course, owning a Formula One car is one thing, but driving it's another. You need expert tuition. Who better than ex-Formula One racer and Le Mans winner, Marc Gene?
I am like the official Formula One coach for the old Formula One clients. So Ferrari had the Formula One car for me where I did a baseline, and we use my lap as a reference for the client, so they can compare themselves to me. and they can see where they have still a margin to improve their driving skills, and I assess them with that as well. So I tell them how to get the best out of the car, basically. I'm their personal teacher, let's say.
You've got to have the best job in the world. How did you start?
Well, I'm a Formula 1 driver, and I've been with Ferrari for many years. And slowly one day they called me up if I could help in this department, the F1 clients department. And then they saw that with my personality, I got along very well with all the customers. And then now I am doing this. I also go to all the Grand Prix, and I am the test driver of the Formula 1 team. But on my spare time, I come and help these guests, which they are very lucky as well, that they can drive a Formula 1 car just as a hobby. And I get along very well with all of them. I speak many languages, which helps as well, and it's a very good job for sure. One of the best in the world, I think.
Which car are you running?
It's a Schumacher 2005 car.
What does it feel like to drive?
Fantastic. Best thing in the world.
In 2005, at the Bologna Motor Show, Ferrari launched this car, the original FXX based on the Enzo. This was intended at just 29 lucky owners who were clients that Ferrari valued and knew would use the car with them in collaboration on the racetrack to help develop the technology that found its way into modern cars. 2 years later, they launched the Evolution version, which featured a 6.3 V12 engine featuring some 860 horsepower at 9,500 RPM. Just in case you're tempted to try and use your FXX on the road, you're reminded that you can't, because where the taillight should be, there are these 4 massive exhaust pipes. Just a reminder of the car's racing pedigree. Fast forward 4 years to 2009, we're at the Geneva Motor Show and Ferrari unveiled this. Based on the 599, it's the 599 FXX. Again, a car designed or intended for track use only, but not for competition. Over 750 horsepower, 700 Newton meters of torque. There's no mistaking that this car's intended for track use only. Take a look at the aerodynamic aids on the front end, the faired-in headlamps, and instead of conventional wheel bolts, these wheels are knock-on, one big nut in the middle to hold them on. Massive brake disc, massive brakes. The car can stop as fast as it goes. Of course, once you bought your Ferrari, you need to get it to the track. And if you're serious about racing, you're going to need one of these. These take about 3 or 4 Ferraris, all the backup kit, and usually a crew of people to keep your car racing. Apart from flipping great trucks, you run into racing drivers in the paddock. Howard, what are you driving today?
I'm driving a 458 Challenge in the Copa Shell.
You been out on the track yet?
I've been out on the track both of the qualifying sessions already, so that's behind me now.
You got a happy face. How was it first time out?
Awful. I was stuck behind somebody, or there was a yellow flag, or it was I made a mistake, so it's not only somebody else's fault. The afternoon session was much better. I'm in 9th place, which is second year driving. It's good for me.
Along with the race cars, Ferrari are using this opportunity to showcase some of the latest models. Behind me, the Ferrari California. And with 4 seats and 4-wheel drive, the Ferrari FF. And Ferrari's 458 Spider, complete with a 2-piece retractable hardtop. Having indulged myself in the pit lanes, it was time to look at some of the cars that will be joining me on the track later that day. The last Guinness World Record attempt was set in Japan in 2008, where they got 490 cars. Clearly, we needed more. I met up with Andrew Holman, who'd taken part in the last Silverstone attempt some 5 years earlier, and asked him what to expect.
Well, I think we've got confirmed over 900 cars now, so that's super. I think we've got confirmed Felipe Massa's we're trying to contain him because he's at the front, yes. And he's got to sort of maintain convoy speed rather than dashing off into the distance, but he does that anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
You're keeping your fingers crossed we might exceed 20 miles an hour?
No, I doubt it. I think remembering back to last time when we had less than half the cars, a lot of people suffer from overheating from going too slowly, so I can't see that this is not a speed day. We're not here for speed.
Having spoken to Andrew, I felt much more confident about what to expect. The cars were starting up and leaving now, and by that time I was really looking forward to taking part in the parade. One by one, the cars started their engines and made their way onto the track. I had no idea how many cars were taking part. All I knew is that it took a long time to get that many cars onto the track, and I was still at the back. hear the engine starting up. This is so exciting. It's very, very hard to describe, but the atmosphere is amazing. Leading the grid was our guest of honour, Formula One race car driver Felipe Massa.
Well, we are here in Silverstone. It's a great track, great place, and we are going to do something really different, which is we are going to try to beat the record of Guinness, trying to put as many cars as possible inside the track, driving, you know, everybody together, and we're trying to put more than 800 Ferrari cars, you know, inside the track, and it's a great experience to be part of it, and a unique experience. Waited a long time for this, but it's going to be worth it. Right, we'll whip it around now. Now we can have a little bit of fun. Here we go, absolutely brilliant. I can't help but smile, this is absolutely magnificent. Sunset at Silverstone, in a Ferrari. Absolutely wonderful. This has got to be one of the top 10 moments in, well, I was going to say in my life, I think it actually is. It's very, very hard not to get a tear in the eye just as we're sort of going around this magnificent circuit. The sun going down, helicopters overhead, behind me, absolutely fantastic Ferraris in front of me, that beautiful little red Dino, just leaning into the corner, feeling what Ferraris are all about. Just a lovely little slide. This is fun, absolutely magnificent. Life doesn't get much better. Andrew's words echoed in my ears as I saw two Ferraris broken down at the side of the track. I don't think he's dead, I think he's just resting actually. Maybe that's not quite so bad. And let's face it, it wouldn't be an Italian car if you didn't have at least one breakdown, would it? That's traditional, that's to be expected. But in fact it's probably right. Oh no, we stopped. We stopped. I can't believe it. Our Ferrari has stopped. It's cut out. It's died. I don't believe we've died. We've actually died. We can't get round. This is disastrous. We were just talking about the Ferrari not dying, and we've actually died on the track. We appear to have lost absolutely all power, everything's gone wrong, and I think me and Felipe are going to have to push. We would have to be, you know what?
Pushing a 1400 kilo Ferrari was never going to be an easy task. Fortunately, one of our co-producers, Felipe, was in the car with me. So we got out and we started to push as hundreds of Ferraris closed in on us.
I tell you what, we'll push it over the line. We're going to push it over the line.
I think the power went down.
I think it's the battery.
It's the battery.
We'll carry on pushing, we can do this pace.
Even though we'd broken down, I was still convinced at that point that somehow, some way, we were going to get our Ferrari over the finish line and be a Guinness World Record holder. Unfortunately, that was not to be, because as Felipe and I continued to push, one of the marshals ordered us off the track, and we couldn't continue.
Unbelievably, we've broken down just before the line, absolutely knackered, but it would have to happen. Wow, that's my exercise for the year. Still, with a lot of cars going over the line, it doesn't look like we're going to be one of them unless we somehow find a way to get going again. But generally speaking, really, really good turnout. We're just very, very knackered.
I was crushed. I'd been defeated. The Ferrari was going no further. I could only stand helplessly at the side of the road and watch the convoy sweep slowly past. But somehow I still felt good inside. I'd taken part in one of the most special events in Ferrari history. And in a way, that was enough for me. And as for us, we ended up spending a little bit longer at Silverstone than expected, all because of a broken alternator. But we'd had one hell of a day to remember.
Lamborghini have come to the UK, and this is the Lamborghini Blancpain Super Trofeo race from Silverstone.